Some people find money behind old wallpaper or in their grandmother's attic. But what if the fortune was already yours and you just forgot about it? In the early days of Bitcoin, people bought it out of curiosity. A few dollars here, a couple of coins there. Back then, it wasn't worth much, and it was easy to lose track of. Some stored their wallets on laptops, but that eventually stopped working. Others forgot their passwords, and some didn't even realize how much they had until years later. That's exactly what happened to the people in this video. From wallets that sat untouched for over a decade, to digital treasure chests cracked open by hackers and crypto detectives, these are the stories of 7 people who got rich from Bitcoin they had completely forgotten about. So, before you toss out that old hard drive or clean up your inbox, don't forget to watch the video until the end, because these stories will make you wonder whether your forgotten past is holding your future fortune. Rhonda Campert from Illinois bought 6 Bitcoins in 2013 when it was still relatively unknown to the public. She had heard about it in passing, got curious, and decided to give it a try. Like many others at the time, she didn't think much of it. She used a little of it, maybe dabbled in a purchase or two, and then moved on with life. Years went by. The wallet and its contents faded into the background. But in 2017, as the price of Bitcoin began making headlines, she remembered. The problem was that she couldn't access the wallet. The login details were outdated. The recovery keys were missing. She had 3.5 Bitcoin locked inside, worth about $175,000 at that time, and no way to get to it. That's when she turned to Chris and Charlie Brooks, a father-son team known as crypto recovery experts. They've helped many people in similar situations, and after hearing Rhonda's story, they took on the case. Using their skills, they managed to recover her login and restore full access to the wallet. The recovered coins helped her pay for her daughter's college tuition. The Brooks duo took a modest cut for their services, and the rest was hers. A man known only as Michael, a European whose identity remains private, had a tech-savvy approach when he first got into Bitcoin. Back in 2013, he stored 43.6 BTC in a secure wallet and, like many privacy-conscious users, used a password manager to generate and store his login credentials. In this case, he used an older version of RoboForm. Years passed, and Bitcoin's value exploded. But when Michael tried to log into his wallet again, RoboForm had changed. The software had been updated. The password generated back in 2013 was gone, and Michael had no way of recovering it. Joe Grand, a world-renowned hardware hacker, and his partner, Bruno, took on the case without knowing if recovery was possible. What followed was a deep technical dive into the old RoboForm system. They had to reverse engineer the exact password generation methods from a decade ago, essentially rebuilding the software's memory. After months of research and experimentation, they found a weakness in how RoboForm had been generating passwords at the time. Using that vulnerability, they managed to recreate the precise password used on May 15, 2013. Michael logged in and was stunned. He recovered 30 Bitcoins from the wallet. At the time of sale, those coins were worth roughly $3 million. In 2010, long before Bitcoin became a buzzword, an anonymous user experimented with mining. Back then, it was simple. You didn't need a server farm or industrial cooling systems, just a basic home computer and a bit of curiosity. This early miner accumulated around 1,000 BTC. At the time, each coin was worth just a few cents. There was no mainstream interest. It was more of a tech experiment than a financial investment. Then, like many early adopters, the miner lost interest. Maybe the computer was replaced. Maybe the wallet was saved somewhere and forgotten. And for years, the wallet remained untouched. But in 2020, blockchain monitors spotted something unusual. The dormant wallet had suddenly become active after 10 years. The 1,000 BTC, which had been worth less than $100 when mined, were now worth over $8 million. There was no public announcement, and no name was revealed. The owner didn't post online or claim attention. They quietly moved the coins to a new wallet and disappeared back into digital silence. In April 2023, a wallet that had been completely inactive since 2012 suddenly came back to life. For over a decade, the wallet sat untouched, a silent relic from Bitcoin's early days. There were no transactions or signs of activity, just 279 Bitcoin quietly sitting on the blockchain. Then one day, without warning, the owner accessed it. The coins were transferred to a new wallet. At the time, the value of those 279 Bitcoins was around $8 million. Nobody knows who the owner was. Some speculated that the person had lost their password and finally cracked it. Others believed it was part of a larger batch of old wallets being slowly reclaimed. But whatever the backstory, the movement of such an old and valuable wallet sent a wave of interest through the crypto world. Joe Grand, also known as Kingpin, isn't just a one-time hero. Over the years, he's helped dozens of people recover lost crypto wallets, and the amounts involved range from $1 million all the way up to $10 million. He doesn't use brute force. His team approaches each case like a puzzle, with unique hardware quirks, old encryption methods, and forgotten software tools. Some of the wallets come from people who lost access due to software upgrades. Others come from accidental password overwrites or corrupted drives. And some are as simple as a broken USB device holding the keys to a digital vault. Joe's reputation has grown because he does what seems impossible. He finds a way into wallets that even their owners have given up on. And he does it ethically, legally, and with a success rate that's turning him into a quiet legend in the crypto world. His work proves something crucial, that digital wealth is not always lost. Sometimes it's just waiting for the right person to unlock it. And sometimes those lost millions are sitting just behind a broken password, waiting to be found. In July 2021, crypto watchers noticed something strange. A wallet from 2012, believed to be from the Satoshi era, had suddenly become active. This wallet held 791 Bitcoin, untouched for nearly 9 years. It wasn't the biggest wallet on the blockchain, but the age and size made it significant. At the time of the transaction, the coins were worth about $26 million. The owner didn't reveal their identity, but the fact that a Satoshi-era wallet moved coins caused a ripple across the industry. People speculated, was it someone from the original Bitcoin team, a miner who had given up and finally recovered access? Or maybe a wallet forgotten by a curious tech user who finally cracked their old hard drive. The most dramatic story of all comes from the ashes of crypto's biggest scandal, the collapse of Mt. Gox, once the largest Bitcoin exchange in the world. In 2014, Mt. Gox filed for bankruptcy after announcing it had lost over 850,000 BTC in a series of hacks. The crypto community was devastated. People lost their life savings. The trust in Bitcoin took a massive hit. But during the bankruptcy proceedings, investigators found something completely unexpected: a wallet containing 200,000 BTC that had been sitting untouched in an old file directory. Nobody had thought to check it. It was simply forgotten. At the time, the recovered coins were worth about $116 million. Today, that number would be many times higher. All of these stories share one strange thing: the fortune was already there. It didn't come from winning the lottery or picking the right stock. It came from something someone already owned and forgot. A decade-old password, a USB drive in a drawer, a wallet buried in code. That's all it took. And in every case, the rediscovery came not through luck alone, but through timing, curiosity, and sometimes the help of someone who knew where to look. So before you clean out your hard drive or throw away that old laptop, maybe pause for a second, because in the world of crypto, your past could be holding something you never expected to find. If you like this video, hit that like button, share it with someone who once dabbled in Bitcoin, and subscribe to our channel for more wild stories about digital treasure, lost fortunes, and second chances. And in the comments, let us know, do you have any old wallets you haven't checked in years? Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.